Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on AMD. I've talked about them on the channel here a couple times, as well as Intel. Intel is my bigger holding right now. Currently, I don't have any of AMD, and I'll show you a mistake that I did make on AMD. But this is Advanced Micro Devices. You can see what they've done here over the last year, up over 32%. 3 months, up over 10%. Last month, up over 5%. Last week, about the same. It's had a really good week. And here's what it looks like today. So the biggest growth has been over the 5-year. I could have got into this for, wow, it's just crazy, but I'll show you what I bought into it at and sold it. Big mistake. But if you don't know what this one is, that's a semiconductor business, operates through the following segments: computing and graphics, enterprise, embedded, and semi-custom. Founded in 1969, 35.93 average million shares being traded, and $111 billion market cap. Here's a look at their analyst ratings. 58% at a buy, and so not too bad on the ratings, pretty much average. And here's a look at the earnings. Available July 27 after hours. So here's where I sold mine. You can leave it in the comments. What a dumbass! But 3 years ago I bought it for $12.80. And about 5 months later, sold it. Not a bad profit. Only had 10 shares, but you could see what it would have turned into if I would have kept it. But now I wish I would have kept it. But back then, I was just getting into trading and thought, oh, that's good profit, and so I thought I'd just sell it, and who knows what I bought in return. But that's all in the past. So 3 years ago. But Intel stock drops as sign of continued AMD share gains eclipse earnings beat. And this is just dated on last Friday, the 23rd. Friday marks the 5th quarter in a row in which Intel stock has finished down 5% or more the day after an earnings report. And so Intel shares dropped Friday as nearly a third of the analysts covering the stock cut their price targets following a strong earnings report that did little to distract from the advances of smaller rival AMD. And Intel 2.44% reported quarterly results that blew the doors off of its own and analyst estimates on Thursday, but its outlook amid the global chip shortage just barely cleared the Wall Street and Wall Street had expected. Shares closed down 5.3% at $53 on Friday for their worst day since its last earnings report in April. In comparison, the semiconductor SOX, I don't think I've talked about them on the channel, nor have I really even looked at them, closed up 0.6% on Friday. Many analysts agreed that a decline of only 9% in Intel Data Center Group or DCG revenue is to $6.5 billion was actually good news because analysts expected a steeper drop to $5.84 billion, though the chipmaker was still losing market share to AMD. And so AMD and Intel's been going back and forth for, I would say, quite a while, ever since the stock really started going up. I believe they got over $100 at one point in time, but we'll see if and when they can do that again. So currently we can look at Intel currently at $54.30, so they've been having a pretty good day here, almost up $2, so $1.30. Here you can say I still have my 4 shares, cost basis of $48.11. And here's another look at AMD, currently at $91.96. So unusual options activity inside for AMD. And so if you were doing a option on this one, go ahead and list that in the comments as well, and let us know how that goes. Saw some unusual options activity on Monday. Following the unusual option alert, the stock price moved down to $91.46, showing bullish call. Expiration date on 12/17 of 21, with a strike price of 125. So we'll see if that happens or not. So, but like I said, you can list that in the comments. So, question: not whether AMD can take market share from Intel, but just how much. And so, like I said, they've been going back and forth. AMD's really had Intel on the run here, so which is a good thing. AMD's just been kicking back, just being slow growth, just a big dinosaur. They're still profitable and everything, still paying the dividend, but just need to get the company moving, and maybe that's what AMD is going to do to get them to move. So I've covered them numerous times in the past. I believe they have a different CEO, Intel, and so things are on the move with them, actually, with both companies. They're both excellent. I wish I would have kept my AMD shares and have both, but now I just have Intel. So they become more of a threat to the larger rival Intel Corp as it has ever been. The question is just how much more the market share can the smaller company snatch before the larger one can right its own ship. AMD is scheduled to report second quarter earnings on Tuesday after the close of the market, but the forecast is likely to hold more sway than the results. Both Intel and Texas Instruments offer weaker than expected forecasts in their earnings report, which eclipsed bigger earning beats. I've never covered Texas Instruments. Might have to look into them. If you have any shares of them, go ahead and list it in the comments. Or if you have AMD or Intel, that would be interesting to know as well. As you can see, Texas Instruments is the higher price stock, but I haven't really looked into that one as of yet. So, Wall Street on average expects AMD to report $144 billion in enterprise, embedded, and semi-custom sales, the segment containing data center and gaming console chips. And moving on, and here's just some search results. I think we've covered most of this. So earnings coming up. Over here to Yahoo Finance, why advanced micro devices might surprise this earnings season. This is just dated here today on the 26th. Investors are always looking for stocks that are poised to beat at earnings season. AMD may be one such company. The firm has earnings coming up pretty soon, and events are shaping up quite nicely for the report. That's because AMD is seeing favorable earnings estimate revision activity as of late, which is generally a precursor to an earnings beat. After all, analysts are raising estimates right before earnings with the most up-to-date information possible. It is a pretty good indicator that some favorable trends underneath the surface for AMD in this report. In fact, the most accurate estimate for the current quarter is currently at 56 cents per share for AMD, compared to a broader Zacks consensus estimate of 54 cents per share. This suggests that analysts have very recently bumped up their estimates for AMD, giving the stock as Zacks earnings ESP of plus 3.41% heading into earnings season. And here's kind of a look at the advanced micro devices price and earnings per share surprise. And here's kind of some ratings, and we'll hit that here at the end anyway. So moving on over here to Reddit. Let's see if there's any information in here. Over here to tip ranks, currently at $91.85 with a low of $67.02, a high of $99.23. Overvalued. So that's why I haven't bought into this one. It just had too much hype behind it, and I've just kind of stayed away and kept my Intel, but should have kept my previous shares, but didn't, expecting to jump out of the way before earnings seems to be the norm. Games all day long, F Citadel and the horse they rode in. Hoping for a nice run last hour. Looks beautiful to me. Not much other information in there. Over here to tip ranks, currently at 91.79. Moderate buy out of 19.13 are showing a buy with $109.73 price analyst with a 19.54% upside. High of 135, low of 90. So if you have any of AMD or any Intel, go ahead and list that in the comments as well, along with your cost bases or any other semiconductors. Be happy to take a look at those as well. Again, and if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, following Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.